You set goals. You get motivated. You fail anyway. What if the very thing you think creates success is actually destroying it? Welcome to the Modern Sages. Ancient wisdom, modern application. Today, why ancient philosophers rejected motivation entirely, what Harvard discovered about sabotage, and your 2-minute practice to build unstoppable systems. Here's what nobody tells you about motivation. It's designed to quit on you. Every January, millions of people set goals with burning motivation. By February, 92% have given up. But this isn't a modern problem. 2,400 years ago, the Stoics figured out why. Marcus Aurelius never wrote about finding motivation, neither did Epictetus. They wrote about systems, daily practices, routines that worked when you felt terrible. Because here's what they knew. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions are unreliable. But it gets worse. Modern science shows motivation doesn't just fail you, it actively sabotages your success. A 2023 Harvard Business School study revealed something shocking. Researchers put people in a competition and watched what happened when motivation kicked in. 40% deliberately chose less talented teammates. They openly admitted, "Yeah, I deliberately sabotaged because I wanted to avoid competition." Then they stole the rejected person's work and copied it as their own. This is what motivation does. It makes you focus so intensely on winning that you destroy the very foundation of success, consistency, ethics, and sustainable progress. The Stoics saw this coming from miles away. They built something different: systems. Marcus Aurelius had a morning routine. Every day, regardless of whether he ruled an empire or felt like staying in bed, he wrote in his journal. Not when inspired, not when motivated. Every single day. That journal became the Meditations, one of the most powerful books ever written. Not because he waited for lightning to strike, but because he showed up when lightning didn't strike. Epictetus taught his students the same principle. Don't rely on feeling ready. Build practices that work when you feel awful. But then, everything changed. The modern world discovered motivation, and we forgot everything the ancients knew about systems. In 1990, researchers Locke and Latham published landmark research showing that specific goals improved performance by 16%. The self-help industry exploded. Goal setting became gospel. Motivation became the cure for everything, except it wasn't working. By 2011, researchers started comparing two groups trying to lose weight. Group 1 focused on losing 10 kilograms, a goal. Group 2 focused on eating healthier daily, a system. The results weren't even close. The system group succeeded at dramatically higher rates. Why? Because they weren't fighting discouragement at each weigh-in. They were winning every time they followed their routine. Scott Adams, creator of Dilbert, put it perfectly. Goal-oriented people exist in a state of continuous pre-success failure. Systems people succeed every time they apply their systems. This is where motivation becomes your enemy. It tricks you into believing success depends on how you feel. But feelings fluctuate. Energy comes and goes. Circumstances change. A motivated person exercises when they feel like it. A systematic person exercises at 6 a.m. every Tuesday, whether they feel like it or not. The motivated person misses workouts on stressful days. The systematic person shows up especially on stressful days and feels better afterward. Here's the deeper problem. Motivation doesn't eliminate barriers. It masks them. Think about it. You get pumped up to start exercising, but you don't have proper equipment. Motivation tells you to power through. You force yourself to work out despite lacking what you need. Eventually, you burn out. A system addresses the barrier. It asks, what equipment do I need? When will I work out? Where? It removes decision points and friction points. B.J. Fogg's research on behavior change proves this. He found that successful habit formation depends on making behaviors tiny, obvious, and immediately rewarding, not on feeling inspired. But the most dangerous part about motivation is how it makes you feel like a failure. When you rely on motivation and it inevitably dips, you think something's wrong with you. You lack willpower. You're not disciplined enough. You're weak. None of that is true. You're using the wrong tool. A Harvard professor, a top scholar in her field, once approached HR asking for staff to balance her checkbook. Despite direct deposit, she dismissed financial management as too trivial for her intellectual pursuits. This is what happens when smart people rely on motivation instead of systems. They excel in areas that inspire them and fall apart in areas that don't. The Stoics understood something we've forgotten. You don't need to feel ready to do what matters. You need to design your life so the right things happen automatically. Marcus Aurelius didn't wait to feel like being a good emperor. He had systems for decision-making, for handling difficult people, for maintaining perspective during crises. Epictetus didn't teach students to get motivated about virtue. He taught them practices, morning reflection, evening review, moment-by-moment attention to what they could control. Here's the revelation. Winners don't feel like winners most of the time. They have systems that work when they feel like losers. James Clear discovered this same principle researching habit formation. He found that motivation gets you started, but systems keep you going. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. A person with a system that requires only 2 minutes of effort succeeds even on their worst days. A person relying on motivation to do an hour-long workout fails when motivation dips, and motivation always dips. The ancient wisdom is clear. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start building systems that work when you feel awful. And here's what's fascinating. James Clear discovered the exact same principle 2,400 years later. In Atomic Habits, he argues that identity-based systems are more powerful than outcome-based goals. Instead of, I want to lose weight, you think, I'm the type of person who exercises daily. This echoes Stoic philosophy perfectly. Focus on your daily actions, what you control, rather than results you can't always control. Clear's framework shows that motivation becomes irrelevant when your system is designed correctly. B.J. Fogg's research validates this too. He found that tiny changes compound into massive results, not because people stay motivated, but because the changes become automatic. This isn't just ancient philosophy. It's backed by modern neuroscience. Now, for the 2-minute practice. Open your Notes app or grab paper. Write this sentence and fill in the blanks. The thing I keep trying to motivate myself to do is, one system I could build around this is, for example, the thing I keep trying to motivate myself to do is exercise. One system I could build around this is laying out workout clothes every night and walking for 10 minutes every morning at 7 a.m. Make it tiny, make it specific, make it automatic. Pause the video and do this now. It takes 30 seconds, but it could change how you approach everything. Here's the principle in one line. Motivation gets you started. Systems keep you going. Here's what to try. Replace one goal with one tiny, daily system. Stop waiting for lightning to strike. Build practices that work in the dark. Now I'm curious, what's sabotaging you more? Waiting for motivation or having systems that are too complicated? Drop your answer like this. My sabotage. One tiny system I'll try. If you want more ancient wisdom with modern application, subscribe. We post daily. The Stoics would approve of that system.